Thanks for joining us. I'm Megan Roberts. The Northwest Territories' top doctor says there have been no overdose deaths connected to opioids in 2026. She attributes this to increased access to naloxone and fentanyl testing strips. But just because there's been no overdose deaths doesn't mean there have been less toxic drugs. Luke Carroll explains.
The NWT's top doctor says harm reduction tools are helping lower the number of fatal overdoses connected to opioids. Earlier this month, the chief public health officer issued an advisory about crack laced with fentanyl and carfentanil found in Hay River. This was just the latest detection of toxic drugs in the territory. Although its presence in the north hasn't gone down, the deaths from it have.
The good news is in 2026 we have seen none. And then last year we only had 2 opioid-related overdoses.
Candola says this follows a trend nationwide and attributes the lower numbers to easier access to naloxone and fentanyl testing.
It didn't diminish the tainted supply, but what we've seen is less and less overdoses specifically related to opioids.
Wally Schumann is a former territorial politician who lives in Hay River. He lost his son to an overdose from a tainted drug supply a few years ago.
I think the work's paying off, but there's still drugs out there and they will still kill people.
It's been about 4 years since toxic drugs started plaguing the NWT. Candola says it began with a cluster of deaths in Hay River in 2022. That came from crack laced with fentanyl. This was the first time it was detected in the territory. Luke Carroll, CBC News, Yellowknife.
There's now a potential route to connect the Northwest Territories to Nunavut by road. The Yellowknife's Dene First Nation and Clichon government agreed on the new route and announced it over the weekend. It would connect the territories for the Arctic Economic and Security Corridor project. The 400-kilometer all-season road will stretch to the Nunavut border. Then a Nunavut-based organization will oversee the construction of a link to a dormant mine in Jericho, then onwards to a port at Grays Bay. The corridor is one of the federal government's nation-building projects, which promises rich opportunities for mineral exploration. The Clichon Grand Chief says this could be a model for the rest of the country and the world.
Now the real work begins. But keep in mind that we're indigenous government are in a driver's seat.
He says protecting caribou migratory herds, the water, and the environment is top of mind. On the Nunavut side, the president of the West Kitimute Resources Corporation says this proposed route is a monumental step for the entire corridor.
I think it's impossible to know without further exploration ultimately where the richest deposits end up being. But this alignment is as good as any. And the important thing is that we connect ultimately to the highway system.
Bell says the federal government will begin consultations this fall about whether Nunavummiut support the corridor being fast-tracked. Sending children and youth in care out of the territory has become a common occurrence in Nunavut. It removes children from their family, their community, and their culture. The Nunavut government is now pledging changes that could reduce that practice. Samuel Watt reports.
Figures from Family Services show as of June 30 of 251 children and youth were in the department's care. 1 in 4 are outside of Nunavut.
I do not understand how in the year 2026, 27 years into Nunavut, that we cannot find alternatives for children that are apprehended to stay within their communities or in the least stay within their culture.
Amultik President Taratutu Fotheringham says many Inuit have stories of children being taken out of their communities, even if there are extended families willing to care for them.
They were now then picked up and removed to a completely new family that they didn't know and a non-Inuit family.
Family Services insists out-of-territory placements are a last resort when there aren't the necessary specialised services available in Nunavut. But Anne Crawford, a lawyer and former child welfare director during the NWT days, doesn't believe people should just accept that argument.
We know those needs are going to exist or they're going to come up from time to time, and we have to plan for it.
The need for safe, culturally appropriate placements is outsized in the territory. Nunavut has the second highest rate of children in out-of-home care according to 2022 federal figures. Verna Strickland, a former social worker, believes the lack of foster parents is forcing the department to send children away. That, in turn, is because of a lack of trust in transient workers who don't always understand the realities faced by Inuit.
When you're not being heard properly, you just don't feel like you want to do anything for any service provider, you know?
Historically, those resources have not been in the territory. We are taking active steps to do so.
Clayton Greaves, Deputy Family Services Minister, hopes to have a plan in place by the end of March. It will tap into Inuit Child First Initiative funding to pay for psychiatrists, and he's working on legislation governing group homes.
These are some of the long-term plans that we have as a department to address the needs for young people to go down.
But who should keep the territorial government in check? Crawford is among those who argue Nunavut Tongavik Incorporated should be that counterbalance. But the Nunavut Agreement, which NTI oversees, doesn't contain provisions for child welfare.
The kind of catchword is that the land claim was negotiated by men.
Meaning it's more about hunting, not children and social services. There is existing legislation Crawford believes could change how child welfare is delivered. In 2019, a federal act affirmed the rights of Indigenous governments to assert jurisdiction over welfare for Indigenous children.
There would have to be an organization in Nunavut or in the regions that would decide to pick up that mandate.
NTI, as the organisation representing Inuit in Nunavut, did not respond to CBC News' request for comment by deadline. Samuel Watt, CBC News, Yellowknife.
A warning that this next story is about sexual assault. Police say a man is facing charges after allegedly sexually assaulting an 8-year-old girl at a popular Yellowknife park over the weekend. RCMP say the child was playing at Samba Cay Park when an unknown man brought her into the bushes and sexually assaulted her. The child was able to escape and reported the incident to their parent, who then contacted the police. RCMP say the incident was reported around 3:15 p.m. on Saturday. 52-year-old Peter McKenzie is facing multiple charges. Those include sexual assault, sexual interference, and exposure of genital organs to a person under the age of 16. Police say Mackenzie and the child are not known to each other, and they believe the incident is isolated. Mackenzie appeared at a bail hearing and was then taken into custody. The NWT's Gahcho Kué diamond mine has posted a net loss of about $121 million in this year's second quarter. But one of the mine's co-owners says it's now seeing encouraging signs when it comes to diamond prices. Mountain Province Diamonds says it saw an uptick during a recent sale. That's likely because many other diamond mines around the world have paused production or closed down. U.S. tariffs and competition from lab-grown diamonds have created a tough market. One analyst says a shrinking diamond supply is helping prices for producers, but that doesn't mean producers should expect prices to rebound right away.
You know, we want to look at supply and demand, and the supply situation is quite positive. But at the end of the day, we need to see, demand increase. And if that happens, I think we'll see a real sustainable recovery in diamond prices. So one side of the equation, I would say we're in good shape. The other side is still kind of to be determined.
Gahcho Kué is Canada's last remaining diamond mine after Ekati went into receivership last month and Diavik ended production earlier this year. Prime Minister Mark Carney says he'll be talking to Donald Trump before the U.S. president's deadline on Wednesday to impose new tariffs on Canada. Canadian negotiators are in Washington trying to reach an agreement, but as Ashley Burke reports, Carney did not assure the public that a deal is imminent.
Ambassador Beer, is there a deal with Canada? Last-minute talks in Washington lasted an hour and 45 minutes, but still no sign of a deal. How was that meeting? Canadian negotiators are trying to push back on Donald Trump's latest tariffs expected to hit on Wednesday.
We're going to continue working. Our job is not yet done.
In these final hours, Trump could be briefed on how negotiations are going and decide if it's enough to postpone or drop his new 50% tariffs on billions of dollars of Canadian exports that include construction materials, alcohol, and dairy.
Do you expect to speak with the U.S. president before Wednesday's tariff deadline? And if so, what will your message be?
The short answer is yes.
Carney focused on announcing a new hydroelectric deal in Canada, saying this is not the time to negotiate with the U.S. in public.
Nous sommes en train de négociations.
The talks are delicate and intense, he said, giving no assurances he'll be able to convince Trump when they speak to back down.
What does a good deal for Canada look like with the United States?
Frankly, we'll have opportunities over the next 48 hours to discuss in more detail as the negotiations go forward.
Carney's advisory committee says any deal must include Trump lowering his sectoral tariffs, including on steel and aluminum, from 50% down to 10 or 12.
If they don't get down to a level that will allow our businesses to survive, we can't make a deal.
Some of Carney's advisors say the government's already looking at ways to strike back if they can't make a deal.
If you put 50% tariffs targeted on us, on our counter tariffs to your tariffs, we're going to have to retaliate. And we'll spin off for a long time before we can sit back down.
Asked if he plans to hit the U.S. with retaliatory tariffs if Trump doesn't back down on Wednesday, the Prime Minister said he's ready for any possible scenario. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Ottawa.
If the U.S. does impose those new tariffs on Wednesday, some sectors and some provinces will be hit much harder than others. Among them, the textile industry in Quebec. Alexander Silverman explains why thousands of jobs there are at risk.
What if the innovation of several North American...
In this Quebec textile factory, workers make specialized fabrics to be turned into protective clothing.
Our methods allow for a multitude of innovations.
In an industry already hanging by a thread, the threat of 50% tariffs on Canadian clothing and textiles would be a devastating blow to many manufacturers.
The fear that it creates isn't just a Canadian fear, it's also a fear in the U.S. of doing business with Canadians. The Canadian textile industry, it's fragile. It's fragile as it is.
Textiles and clothing made in Canada, currently duty-free under CUSMA, are now targeted under a range of goods set to get hit with U.S. tariffs on August 19th. Even just the possibility of tariffs is already hurting the industry.
People have already been laid off. Orders aren't coming in. U.S. customers are possibly searching for other suppliers.
Canada's textile sector employs about 100,000 people, according to the Industry Association, with the bulk of jobs in fashion and clothing, based in Quebec and Ontario.
They're encouraging companies to skip North America entirely and go to China.
The association representing Montreal's fashion industry says clothing companies would be especially hard hit.
It will have an immediate impact.
4 in 5 pieces of clothing cut and sewn in Canada head south of the border. And in recent years, small and medium-sized manufacturers have brought production back to Canada to get duty-free access to the American market.
We have 5,000 more jobs in cut and sew production here in Quebec than we had 10 years ago. We could lose this know-how in our sector.
The industry warns if tariffs hit, the trend of more production here at home would quickly reverse. Alexander Silverman, CBC News, Montreal.
Charity thrift stores are sending more used clothes to landfills. Industry insiders say the cause is layered, but at the core is the growth of fast fashion and fluctuating used textile markets. Taryn Grant reports.
Inundated with donations of used clothes, charity thrift stores are having to send more and more to the landfill.
Clothes really shouldn't go in the dumpster, but there's just so many clothes being generated now with fast fashion. Okay, so
at this store in suburban Halifax, this is a fraction of donations waiting to be sorted. The store manager says she used to be able to sell the excess to other charities. They would sell some to for-profit stores, like Value Village, and some might be exported to another country. But 6 months ago, the charities stopped buying because there's just too much.
In the work that I've done nationally, we've seen it coast to coast.
This used clothing expert says the same problem is hitting charity thrift stores across Canada.
Through the system that we have created, I think it's worked really well for many, many years. The real problem is just that we need to turn off the tap, ultimately.
The National Diabetes Trust collects used clothing from donation bins. Until recently, it would also buy from charity thrift stores. But it stopped doing that in Ontario, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, British Columbia, and Nova Scotia, citing changing market conditions that have affected inventory levels and processing capacity. Another big player, Value Village, is shifting away from buying from charities. The thrift giant would not do an interview, but in its annual reports, it says half its stock used to be bought from charities. Now nearly 80% comes through direct donations. One used clothing exporter says pressure is mounting on the international used clothing market.
Under pressure also in a really thin margined, it's a low value commodity.
Bethel says inflation and global unrest are driving up the cost of exporting used clothes. Plus, some countries are adding taxes to try to slow the stream. Genge says the only real solution is policy.
It's legislation, it's regulation that needs to come into play to address that.
She'd like to see more textile recycling and for manufacturers of new clothes to face the burden of disposal. Taryn Grant, CBC News, Halifax.
The number of bison being hit on roads in the Northwest Territories appears to be going down. And it turns out wildfires may be to thank for that. The NWT Department of Environment and Climate Change says it recorded 60 collisions with bison between 2021 and 2025. So far this year, there's only been one.
The immediate effect of the fire is that bison change where they're spending their time. So bison will avoid the area immediately during and after a fire, but it doesn't take long for bison to then move into those burnt areas, even while they're still hot and there are places smoking at the time. I think that often they seek out those areas for relief from biting insects, and then once the vegetation starts to regrow after a fire, the bison find that very attractive.
Armstrong says bison are there for the food. They're attracted by newly sprouted vegetation. That's also why they're drawn to highways looking for succulent roadside snacks. Armstrong says with huge areas burned the last few years, it appears more bison may be choosing recovering wildfire areas over hitting the highway. The 60 vehicle collisions between 2021 and 2025 killed at least 76 bison. Wood bison are listed as a threatened species in the NWT and nationally. And Parks Canada has closed off part of Yukon's Kluane National Park due to wolf activity, including one incident that left a person with a minor injury. The closure covers the Aichu Valley in the park's northeast. Parks Canada says staff have received reports of a young lone wolf displaying bold behavior. It says the wolf has followed people and also made contact with someone. The closure came into effect Friday and it's in place until further notice. That means a number of popular hiking trails are off limits, including Sheep Creek and Aichu East and West. Violators may be fined up to $25,000. The 13th annual Whitehorse Pride Parade took to the streets on Saturday. It's part of a larger Pride festival with activities and events running throughout the week. Chants and cheers flowed through the crowd as they marched, drove, and danced downtown. There were smiles all around as participants joined in or waved their flags from the side. A marcher in the parade with the Yukon Fringe Festival says there was acceptance and support in the air. She says the visibility the parade brings is important.
It's about acceptance and awareness and familiarity, like lots of people maybe live in their own little world and don't necessarily get a glimpse into other people's worlds. And I think Pride allows other people to get a glimpse into those other worlds that maybe are unfamiliar, and that's what makes people more open and realize we're all just Yukoners. We're all just the same people.
Participants marched to Shipyards Park for a pride picnic. Mini golf, arts and crafts, and cookie decorating were in the sea of rainbow outfits and decorations. The festival continues this week with panels, dance parties, drag performances, and more. Some parents say a new summer camp for neurodivergent kids has had a positive impact on their children. The camp focuses on science and technology, and organizers make sure that everyone can take part. Taylor O'Brien takes us there.
These kids are getting hands-on experience at a summer camp designed for neurodivergent children. It focuses on science and technology. The parents ask that we not show their faces, but say the program has made a big difference.
Every single day when I pick her up, she's happy. She has a glow, around her. She's had a bit of a struggle since we got here, making friends, and I think this camp has been a breakthrough for her because she's met new friends, and she's enjoyed it thoroughly.
Each activity is tailored to each camper's strengths and weaknesses so they can all participate. The environment also includes sensory spaces, fidget toys, and volunteers to support the kids.
Most of the time, the curriculum for most camps is generic. It's very cookie cutter for everyone, and it's more like you have to fit into the curriculum. But this essentially is built around her preferences, around her strengths.
There are many students who aren't finding safe spaces where they can thrive. And even summer camps can be spaces where our students feel uncomfortable, ignored, unseen, and like outsiders.
Daubin says children flourish when they're in a space made for them.
And you just watch the transformation, and it's magical. We have students who have never spoken before that are now able to identify things and use words. So we ask ourselves, how is this possible? How did they get to this point? And we strongly believe it's because of the space.
Daubin says she hopes the campers see they deserve spaces where they can thrive. Parents say their children will be back next year. Taylor O'Brien, CBC News, Brackley.
In Newfoundland and Labrador, the Hold Fast Contemporary Art Festival took place over the weekend in St. John's. One Innu artist displayed a traditional tent for the festival. It was meant to highlight an ongoing dispute between the provincial government and Innu Nation about how long Innu have been in Labrador. Leila Baudouin has more.
You can smell Melissa Trimblett's art installation before you see it.
No, I'm actually very, very excited to bring nature to the courthouse.
Smack dab in the middle of Water Street is her Innu tent, a part of a weekend art show and her culture.
I'm full of sap, I'm smelling gorgeous, and I'm just really excited to be here.
Bringing the sweet smells of sap and trees, Trimblett's installation called 300 Years is art doing what it does best, challenging politics.
It is something that's been here long before any of these brick buildings and any of these politics that we're dealing with.
Kelly Young is talking about the Provincial Archaeology Office. Earlier this summer, they challenged Innu's account of their own history.
Just really proud of Melissa for being brave and actually saying, you know what, this is our truth.
For visual artist Melissa Tremblett, if a picture says 1,000 words, this art is her way of telling her First Nation story.
This is who you're talking about. This is who you're saying hasn't existed. This is the culture that we have.
On display, where the smell of downtown cuisine is paired with the sweet smell of tree sap, art, or in this case, history. Lila Baudouin, CBC News, St. John's.
After a 12-year hiatus, the Kivalliq Summer Games have made a triumphant return. They were held over the weekend in Chesterfield Inlet, Nunavut. Athletes competed in Inuit games like 1-foot high kick, arm pull, and head pull. The Hamlet's recreation coordinator says the idea to bring the games back came from his time coaching at this year's Arctic Winter Games.
just realized the Alaska, Greenland, NWT, Yukon, they have stepped up their Arctic sports, I guess, competition. So I want to start getting the competition going, but I want to start regionally first.
The Kivaluk Inuit Association sponsored the event. The organization says it's an important return to tradition.
It really highlights the opportunities that bring communities together through sports, because living in very small communities, sports are a very robust game.
The Nunavut Sport Board says this year was a starting point. It hopes to grow the games for years to come. And that is Northbeat for tonight. For news anytime, go to cbc.ca/north. Thank you for watching. I'm Megan Roberts. Have a good night.